In winter, temperatures plummet to 0 degrees Fahrenheit or below. In cities like Sapporo, Japanese residents face a serious challenge against the bitter cold. While staying warm during daylight hours can be manageable through daily routines and heated public spaces, the real challenge emerges after sunset as night falls and temperatures drop even further. People living in northern Japan must rely on practical and time-tested methods to stay warm. It might seem strange that someone would choose to remain active outdoors in freezing conditions rather than stay inside at all times. But there is a simple reason behind this decision. Daily life does not stop. People still commute, shop, and socialize. Public transportation runs as usual, and many workers must be outside. Avoiding the cold entirely is not realistic. The issue comes down to preparation and layering. While most people do not think about it daily, the items they wear are absolutely essential for comfort and safety. A high-quality winter coat rated for extreme temperatures can mean the difference between comfort and danger. Proper boots provide crucial protection from ice and snow. Even basic accessories like gloves, scarves, and thermal socks are important when temperatures drop this low. The harsh reality is that exposure without preparation, even for short periods, can quickly become uncomfortable or unsafe. Wind, moisture, and prolonged cold all work together to drain body heat. One longtime Sapporo resident explained it simply: good clothing matters more than short breaks indoors. Many people would rather invest in proper winter gear than rely only on heated spaces throughout the day. After all, what good is a warm cafe for an hour if you are unprepared for the rest of the day? Before going into the specific techniques Japanese people use to stay warm, let's first cover some of the basics to understand why clothing alone is not enough. Most residents rely heavily on layered clothing as their primary defense against the elements. These layers work together to trap heat, but they are not bulky or uncomfortable. Most outfits are carefully chosen with materials designed to retain warmth while allowing movement. The biggest challenge is the environment itself. Snow-covered streets, icy sidewalks, and strong winds can make even short walks difficult. Cold surfaces and open areas quickly pull heat away from the body, especially during long commutes. That is why you will notice people in Sapporo wearing insulated coats, wind-resistant outer layers, and carefully selected winter footwear designed for both warmth and traction. Each added layer helps trap a tiny bit more warmth inside. One resourceful resident covers their entryway and windows with insulated curtains and bubble wrap. Not exactly glamorous, but those air pockets create surprisingly good insulation. Even with all these creative solutions, a basic home setup might only raise the indoor temperature 10 to 15 degrees above the outside air. With temperatures dropping well below zero in Sapporo, people need more than just heating to stay comfortable. That is where clothing layers become absolutely crucial for daily life. Staying warm in winter takes more than just 1 or 2 layers. It requires an entire system of them. And yes, wearing 5 or 6 layers might look excessive, but each layer plays a vital role in staying warm. People often get these items from local stores or seasonal sales, choosing carefully for warmth and practicality. Some even joke that they can spot a good thermal layer from across the street, a skill that becomes pretty useful when winter lasts for months. These layers are not just for going outside either. They are worn indoors, used as lap blankets, and sometimes doubled as sleepwear during the coldest nights. The real trick is keeping everything dry. Damp clothing in freezing temperatures is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. That is why people in Sapporo are careful to dry items thoroughly and store them properly, protecting these essential layers from snow and moisture. But even with multiple layers and warm clothing, the cold from floors and walls still creeps in. Many people's first thought might be, why not just turn the heat all the way up? Well, that is actually a more complicated solution than it seems. Running heaters constantly might seem like an obvious answer to staying warm, but it is one of the most expensive choices for households. Many homes are compact, and energy costs add up quickly during long winters. Overheating small spaces can also create dryness and discomfort. In northern Japan, people are taught early to heat the person, not the room. Energy conservation is a common mindset, especially during extended cold seasons. During the day, people may rely on shared heated spaces and public transport to stay warm. But at night, when temperatures hit their lowest point, relying only on heaters becomes inefficient. That is when personal warmth strategies matter most. As one longtime Sapporo resident puts it, winter is easier when you dress smart instead of fighting the cold directly. Fortunately, there is a much safer and more efficient way to stay warm in small spaces. It involves a simple but cultural solution. The Kotatsu sounds almost too simple, but it is an ingenious heating method that has helped countless families through harsh winters. The setup is surprisingly simple: a low table, a built-in heater, and a thick blanket to trap warmth underneath. While it will not turn a cold room into a tropical resort, it provides enough warmth to keep people comfortable when temperatures nosedive below zero. The science behind it is pretty clever. Heat-retaining materials commonly used in Japanese homes are excellent at absorbing and slowly releasing warmth, similar to traditional heat-storing stone and ceramic elements found in older houses. Local heaters warm these materials, and they gradually release that heat into the surrounding air. Some households get creative with their setups, combining insulation panels or layered floor mats to improve heat distribution. One resident in Sapporo managed to raise the temperature in a small living space by almost 15 degrees using a compact heater and proper insulation. Safety is crucial, though. These heat sources need to sit on surfaces that will not overheat, and they must be positioned so they cannot tip over. The good news is that small electric or fuel-efficient heaters are relatively affordable and designed to run safely for several hours. A modest energy cost can provide warmth through the longest winter nights. Plus, unlike open flames, these heating methods are much less likely to turn a home into a serious fire hazard. Some communities even share practical winter living tips, showing newcomers how to use heaters and insulation safely. As one local joked, it is probably the only setup where you can stay cool in summer and stay warm in winter. Talk about multitasking. But compact heaters are not the only solution people rely on. Another popular method involves something found in nearly every Japanese home. From everyday item to winter essential, insulated table heating turns ordinary furniture into a vital heat source that can mean the difference between discomfort and warmth. A low table paired with a thick blanket works best, with the design being surprisingly straightforward. Heat is directed downward, the blanket traps warm air, and the space underneath becomes a personal heat zone. For power, most setups use a built-in electric heater designed for efficiency and safety. These units are made to run for hours while consuming relatively little energy. The heater produces steady warmth without overheating the room. A single unit can comfortably warm multiple people sitting together. The enclosed space traps heat quickly. Within minutes, these setups can raise the perceived temperature around the body by 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Safety features are essential. Ventilation is built in, surfaces are designed to prevent burns, and stable construction keeps everything secure. Longtime users note that careful placement and proper blankets improve heat distribution and prevent discomfort. One longtime resident in Sapporo found that using thicker seasonal blankets creates a layered effect that distributes warmth more evenly and helps retain heat throughout the evening. The outer layer does not get as hot to the touch. A longtime resident in Sapporo perfected his setup using layered floor mats and a compact heater with an inner heat source and a thicker outer layer designed to disperse warmth upward. His setup runs for many hours at a low setting, providing crucial warmth through the longest winter nights. But whether you are using a carefully layered heating setup or a simple personal heater, staying warm is not just about generating heat. It is about keeping it close to your body. When it comes to daily life in extreme cold, proper layering is like building a personal fortress against winter. The first rule: cotton is the enemy. It absorbs moisture and stays damp, which is why experienced residents rely on wool and synthetic materials during winter. The base layer needs to be thin and moisture-wicking. Thermal shirts or athletic base layers work perfectly. Next comes the insulating layer. Sweaters, fleece jackets, or wool tops trap warm air close to the body. The outer layer needs to block wind and snow. Even a lightweight windproof shell over a coat makes a huge difference. Most people do not realize that you lose up to 20% of your body heat through your head, another 30% through your feet, and about 15% through your hands. That is why you will often see people in Sapporo wearing multiple hats, usually a thinner inner cap covered by a thicker wool or insulated hat. Socks follow the same principle. Thin synthetic socks underneath, thick wool socks on top. One clever trick commonly used during snowy months is adding a waterproof layer or moisture barrier between socks. It looks awkward, but it creates an effective barrier that keeps feet dry and warm. The real pros have mastered the art of creating what they call dead air spaces, small pockets of air trapped between layers that act as natural insulation. Wearing slightly oversized outer layers helps create these spaces. A jacket that is one size too big can actually keep you warmer than a perfectly fitted one, as long as there are enough layers underneath to trap air effectively. As one winter veteran in Hokkaido puts it, fashion goes out the window when it is 20 below. Comfort matters more than appearance, but even the best layering system needs help from the inside. And that is where smart eating and drinking habits become crucial. Your body is like a furnace, and in freezing temperatures, it needs steady fuel to keep running efficiently. Many people in Sapporo make a habit of drinking warm beverages throughout the day. Convenience stores, workplaces, and cafes all offer hot drinks that become a winter lifeline. Some carry insulated bottles, refilling them whenever possible to keep warm drinks available during long, cold days. The science of staying warm through food is fascinating. Your body actually generates about 10% more heat when digesting food. That is why eating small amounts frequently works better than one large meal. Complex carbohydrates like rice, noodles, and oatmeal are particularly valuable because they digest slowly, creating a longer-lasting warming effect. One winter-hardened resident keeps instant soup and rice packets on hand at all times. It is like carrying little heat sources with you, he says, except these ones you can eat. Staying hydrated might seem counterintuitive when you are trying to stay warm. After all, who wants to drink cold water in freezing weather? But dehydration makes you more susceptible to hypothermia because your body cannot regulate its temperature as effectively. Some people have learned to add a pinch of salt to their drinks when possible. It helps retain body heat and replace electrolytes lost through shivering. The habit is common in cold coastal regions of Japan, passed down from fishermen used to long hours in icy conditions. The most prepared individuals plan their entire day around staying warm through food and drinks. They know which convenience stores sell hot canned beverages in the morning, which cafeterias serve warm lunches, and which cafes do not mind if you sit for a while with a single cup of hot tea. As one Sapporo local puts it, winter survival is a daily routine, and hot drinks are part of the schedule. Living through winter in northern Japan requires combining all these strategies: proper shelter, efficient heating, careful layering, and smart eating habits. Each method alone might not be enough, but together they create a system that helps people stay warm even in the harshest conditions.